The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, nearly afternoon. How are you going? Christ, this music's very loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Welcome back to... It's not penultimate. Is there like another word for penultimate? You got final deadline stream, penultimate deadline stream. What's this one? The deadline eve penultimate deadline stream? I don't know. There's only 3 game weeks to go is what I'm trying to say. Double game week. No one's got a clue what they're... I've never seen Twitter so indecisive on their moves, and I include myself in that because I'm still not sure what to do about my bench necessarily. But honestly, for a double game week where so many good teams are doubling, you think it would be a bit easier, but it seems extremely difficult. So we're going to get into penultimate. Yeah, that could work. We're going to get into your questions, and we're going to bring it on home for the deadline at 1:30 p.m. today, UK time. So it's an hour and a half. So the good thing about a later deadline is it means it does mean like, you know, there's not so much to do with the rest of my day, I guess, but it does mean I was on time, and it does mean I got to take the dog for a nice, lovely, scenic walk this morning. It's the rotation that makes it difficult. Absolutely, of course, that is the reason why we're all having a freaking nightmare, and I include myself in that. Pre-penultimate deadline stream. That could work too, yeah? Connor, thoughts on Foden in for Mount or Havertz? Yeah, I pretty much would always sell Havertz before Mount. I mean, honestly, the theme of this stream is going to be, I do not know if they're going to play twice. I don't know if Foden's going to play twice. Will Foden definitely get more minutes than Mount or Havertz? I don't know. Would I do Havertz to Foden? Probably. I did a Twitter space earlier on. Now, don't worry if you missed out. It wasn't super exciting, but it was still good to chat to Luke and Sam and that. Like, Luke tries to predict Man City a lot, and basically we could have just gone round and round in circles. Like, you can frame Man City whichever way you want. A lot of their players just played 120 minutes. There's going to be lots of changes. They've only got the league to play for, therefore there's not going to be many changes. It's difficult. Foden starts a lot, right? We know that. Is he definitely going to start against Newcastle? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Zero idea. My money, I'd probably be swaying slightly more in favour of him starting, but maybe that is deep down bias because I'm just a biased person, right? Mahrez came off earlier, so he could start, but could Jesus start on the right and Sterling down the middle, Foden on the left, or will Grealish come in on the left? I don't know. Expected minutes is key. Yeah, expected minutes is basically key this week. Son and Robertson to Salah and a City defender. or De Bruyne to Salah, or Pukki to Richarlison, or just roll? I mean, it really depends. Like, Salah is the best captain in my eyes this week. I don't know if there's too many players that close to him. Like, Son is a decent captain this week, but he's not as good as Salah. Like, I just really like, and I don't think it is that close. So ideally, you'd want Salah, but selling De Bruyne to Salah just doesn't feel that right. Like, are you brave enough to go without Salah captain? That is your first question. If you're not, do De Bruyne to Salah. If you are, Pukki to Richarlison, especially if you're not free hitting in 37, I would say is a pretty good move. But it's not a move you have to rush this week. You could just do Pukki. So play Pukki. You're just in a position where you could roll. You're either getting Salah or you're rolling. Only you can decide how much you want Salah captain. Start Martinelli or Cash. I mean, I think that Martinelli starts this game, and if he's going to start this game, that is the more important one, the Leeds game. And Cash has to play Liverpool. So I feel like if it was me, I'd probably play Martinelli. But with Cash, you're getting 2 starts. So it's pretty close. I would probably play Martinelli, I think. Wait, oh, hang on. I don't know. Like, again, it all comes just down to minutes. Yeah, I'd probably play Martinelli and hope he plays twice. Phoenix is a banger, but that is my reminder to turn it off. What will I listen to? Will I listen to some Queen? Maybe I'll listen to some Queen in the background. Oh, by the way, I should just bring up my team before I go through loads and loads of questions. I've made my moves already. So I've done the ones that I was chatting about on various videos this week. I'll probably mention it in every single video, to be fair. So I have done Chris Wood to Nketiah. And I have done... who have I done? Sarr to Edison. Sarr to Edison's pretty close. I think if I'd had Laporte, I don't know if I would have done it. I mean, obviously I couldn't do it because I had Foden, but I think if I had double City defence and I didn't have a third City player, would I have definitely got Edison in? I'm not so sure. I think part of it might just be to cover off the double City defence. I think it was close, which is why I went for it. I just, like, Sarr could absolutely rack up enough save points to outscore Edison. I guess the main issue is I feel like Edison probably has to get 2 clean sheets to outscore Sarr this week, like for that -4, which is possible, but it's not guaranteed. So it is a bit of a... I don't know if you can ever say that getting Edison in is a risk, but there is a chance that Sarr outscores it. And then obviously I could have just played Dubravka in Game Week 38. Now I'm going to play an Edison. That is it. That's my moves. I think... I'm looking at my team. I'm thinking James, Alonso, Robertson, Foden, and possibly even Nketiah. 5 of my 11 players, I am not massively confident about starting twice, to be honest. But I'm just going to have to roll with them. And I am going to play Rafinha over Kulusevski. And I don't think I'm going to be brave enough to play Kulusevski over one of my defenders. Just because I'm afraid I'll get the wrong one. It's like I said on Twitter. I definitely think after Game Week 36 is finished, I should have played Kulusevski over one of Alonso, James or Robertson, but I don't know which one. And I'm not willing to risk it, basically. I think if Kulusevski had better fixtures, I'd probably risk it. But Liverpool away... Do you know what I mean? If Robertson comes away with a clean sheet against Liverpool, against Spurs today, I probably don't regret benching Kulusevski. So... we'll see. Why bother buying Nketiah if you're unsure of his minutes? Because I think he will start against Leeds. I'm just not so sure about Spurs. And I think Leeds is a good enough game. I could have gone for Pukki, but that just felt a bit boring. Pukki could outscore him. I'm not playing Kulusevski. You can put that in the chat as much as you want. I am not going to play Kulusevski over Rafinha. At the end of the day, right, one thing to remember is FPL is supposed to be fun, and I just like Rafinha, so I'm going to play him. That's it. That's all there is to it. I do think genuinely he probably is a better option this week as well, just because of the slightly better fixtures. And he's obviously nailed. He will play like 90 minutes probably in both games. And he's on penalties while Bamford's out. So there are a lot of pluses to him. But yeah, if anyone wanted to play Kulusevski over Rafinha, I wouldn't really argue about it too much. But it's my team and I want to play Rafinha. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. And also I'm 15k. If I have a really good week, I might be top 10k. If I have a really bad week, will I maybe fall out of the top 50k? Probably not. I'm not that bothered really at this point. I mean, I am bothered. I do want a higher rank. I do want to get top 10k, but it's not something I'm going to lose too much sleep over, I don't think. Unless I get really close on the last day, then maybe I will. Who knows? No one would be shouting for Kulusevski if Son didn't score a screamer. So, I do have a similar-ish thinking, right? I think the 2 assists, again, and the way he played against Leicester when he came on, should definitely factor into our thoughts because he got benched, right? So suddenly we're thinking he's a bit of a rotation risk, but then Moura doesn't play that well and Kulusevski plays really well. So that should switch our thinking to say, okay, Kulusevski's probably nailed now for the double game week. So we should factor that performance in. But I agree, if Son hasn't scored a banger and Kulusevski maybe comes away with 1 assist, I don't think people would be so high on him. I really think like the fact that he got 2 assists in a cameo is playing on a lot of people's minds. I mean, he's got a lot of returns this season. And again, I do think the best move is to play him over one of James, Alonso or Robertson. I'm just not confident enough to make the call on which one that is. So I'm just going to play them all. But I agree. I do think the 2 assists is playing on people's minds quite a lot. Quite a lot. I'm not free hitting. I'm free hitting next week. Start Martinelli or Cash. We did that one. Sarter, Schmeichel done. Nice. White to Matip and Kulusevski to... I wouldn't do Kulusevski to Martinelli for a hit, to be honest. Even if it's if Kulusevski to Martinelli is to fund White to Matip, I'd rather just save the 8 points. There is a chance that Ben White will start. It's not guaranteed, but I don't think that move is worth a -8. I think I'd rather have Kulusevski than Martinelli. The only annoying thing is Martinelli will probably start Leeds. It's the Spurs game that's maybe slightly in doubt. So it's a tough one. I think I'd probably save, but it is close. Weird question, but would you do James to Laporte for a hit if it meant in game week 38 you could do Coutinho to Foden instead of Coutinho to Kulusevski? I don't think so. Like, again, I guess with deadline stream questions, I'm trying to answer quick, so I'm not really like... Obviously, it'd be nice to give it 20 minutes thought, but that's impossible. But I think James against Watford at home and Kulusevski against Norwich is probably better than Laporte and Foden at home to Villa. That's my gut feeling. Plus, you don't have to take a hit this week. That's my gut feeling. That's what I'm going to go with. Robertson or Coutinho, who would you bench this week? Oh, I just don't think I could bench Robertson. So I think I'd have to bench Coutinho and then just pray. Really. Let's not forget, again, when people make predictions for rotation, they always pick the obvious thing. And I agree with them most of the time, right? It does make sense. If Robertson's going to be rested, it is going to be that Villa game. But there is every chance Robertson just plays every single game for the rest of the season. There's nothing to say that he won't. So I would, if I had Robertson or Coutinho, I feel like I would probably play Robertson. Because I'd be more worried about what he can do. I think Coutinho's got to play Liverpool. I'd probably play Robertson. Richard, my little end of season, thanks. Thanks very much. Thank you for watching, of course, as well. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to everyone that's going to hit the like button as well. We've got 5,000 people watching already. Let's hit that like button. On a free hit, De Bruyne and Yerry Mina or Mahrez and Cancelo. I think I would go with the 2 City boys and just hope that Mahrez gets 2 starts, which is, of course, not guaranteed. With Yerry Mina, I quite like the idea of going on him for a free hit in 37 because he does have a bit of goal threat. Obviously, fitness is a little bit of an issue, possibly, because he's not been... I think he was out recently enough. But this week is probably not the better week to have Everton defenders. So I'd probably just have Mahrez and Cancelo, to be honest, this week. Ian, thank you. Chintan, should I do Mount to Saka for free and use that money to upgrade Mateta to Richarlison -4? I'm on bench boost, Mateta being the only single game weeker. That is probably a move I would do. I think Richarlison's better than Mateta this week. Saka is probably better than Mount as well. -4, better bench boost. I'd do that move, I think, every day. Start Coutinho or Zaha. One has double. I would start Coutinho over Zaha. Yeah, I would take the 2 fixtures in that case. Start Justin or KDH. I mean, Dewsbury Hall, I know he got that goal and then everyone got very excited about him, but I think he's done nothing since. Am I right or am I wrong? I could be wrong. Let me see. It's like I said at the time. He got a goal and assist against Palace. Has done nothing since. The thing is, Justin probably gets 1 start. Maybe. Possibly gets 2. I think I would start Justin. I think. It's probably a little bit tougher. Some of these questions aren't easy. Like, yeah, definitely do that. Some of them a little bit harder. Mateta doubles next week, yes, but he's bench boosting this week, so I would get rid of Mateta. And also, it's for Richarlison, who also doubles next week, so it's definitely a good move, I think. Would this be a decent bench boost or no? Dubravka, Gordon, Nketiah, Fofana. I mean, it's okay. It's not as good as some of the bench boosts I'm seeing out there because Dubravka's got Man City. Obviously, Gordon is decent and Nketiah is decent. Fofana's okay. He probably will only start one game. I don't think he starts the Everton game, but he probably gets Norwich, so it's not that bad. I guess the question is, are you going to be able to set up a better bench boost in 37 or 38? I would probably say no if you've got other transfers to make for your first 11. So if you don't think you can get a better bench boost than that, you're just going to have to use it. I think it's okay. I don't know if decent is the word I would use just because of Fofana one start maybe and Dubravka against City, but it ain't bad. So I think I'd probably do it. Without knowing, obviously, your future transfer stuff. De Bruyne and Richarlison -8 or stick with Kane and Maddison. I would on bench boost and free hit 37. Honestly, if you're free hitting 37, I would definitely keep Kane and Maddison, I think. I think Kane in game week 38 is definitely better than De Bruyne, right? He's plays Norwich. This week, Kane and De Bruyne is quite a bit closer. I think De Bruyne could have his minutes reduced in the next couple of games, possibly. Just come off early, I don't know, 70, 75 minutes, who knows? Whereas Kane doesn't. And I think Maddison, okay, he might only get one start, but he should get the Norwich game. And then he's got Southampton last day. So I don't think I'd take a -8 to switch out Kane and Maddison. Pukki to Nketiah and Robertson to Laporte. If I had Pukki, I'd just play him, I think. Unless there's like a big reason why you want Nketiah. Like you really think Pukki's just awful. I think if I had him, I wouldn't use a transfer on it. Robertson to Laporte could be okay. If Robertson starts twice, though, you regret that move. So you have to weigh up how much you think Robertson's getting benched. Geez, loads of questions already. We're only at 12:15. De Bruyne or Cancelo triple captain? I would probably go De Bruyne. I think Cancelo's good, but I prefer attackers. You know that. Will I come to FPL Fest next? I won't. I can't. No. Like the thing is, I've said this a lot, right? With FPL Fest, it looks like a great event. I can't say for sure. I've never been there, but it looks really good, right? There's always loads of positive feedback. The guys that run it are great, and it makes sense for them to do it on a deadline day or something like that. Like they're going to do it. I'm assuming next year will be. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be like the opening day of the season. And that's like the worst day for anyone that creates content, especially when you don't live in the country. So I won't be there. No, I don't think so, unfortunately. And like if they did it on an international break, that's good for me, but probably not as good for the event, you know. And there's obviously they're not going to change the event for me because why the hell would they? Foden and Richarlison or Maddison and Jesus? I think Foden and Richarlison. I think you possibly get more minutes out of those two. I'll get on to that, Seamus, in a sec. Kane and Mount to Richarlison, De Bruyne for a hit. Or Kane and Emerson, Royale, I guess that is, to Richarlison and Trent for a hit. I mean, Kane and Emerson to Richarlison and Trent sounds better to me. If you're going to do it, I would do that hit, I think. No chips left, so Richarlison's good for the double. I mean, it's not like Kane's bad, by the way. I think as long as you've got a good captain you're happy with in 38, then losing Kane is not necessarily the end of the world. I think I would do Richarlison and Trent for a hit over your other hit, though, to be honest with you. Would you do Robertson? Loads of people want to get rid of Robertson. Robertson and Pukki to Laporte and Richarlison -4 or just roll? I'd probably just roll. And again, with Pukki to Nketiah, I mean, the thing is, Nketiah's got to play Leeds, so he could come away with a big haul, but Pukki's nailed pretty much to start both games. He is on penalties. I know they're relegated. I get that. I just don't know if it's worth using a transfer on. Like, Robertson and Pukki to Laporte and Richarlison could definitely work out if Robertson gets benched. But if he doesn't, I don't think I would take that hit. All I'll say is, if you weren't free hitting in 37, you could maybe justify it because of Richarlison, but if you are free hitting 37, I'd be even less likely to take that hit, to be honest with you. Will Jota play this week? I mean, great question. I got no idea. There seems to be two schools of thought. There's some people that think Jota starts twice, and there's some people that think Diaz starts twice, and that Mane will miss a game either way. I think Diaz starts twice, but a lot of people think Jota starts twice. I really don't know. The only reason I think that Diaz starts twice is because I think he gets the Spurs game. And I think Mane will play because it's a difficult fixture. It could be Diaz, Jota and Salah, by the way. And then Diaz comes out for Mane against Villa. That could be the way, but I think Mane plays. Yeah, great question. No idea. I mean, that is the general feeling. Oh wow, FPL Focal has just tweeted, and he said, "Oh, as always, take it with a pinch of salt. But Edouard starts today. Guaita doesn't." Does Edouard mean Mateta benched, or possible that they both start? Let me rephrase that. With Edouard starting, do you know Mateta doesn't? Or do you just know Edouard? And that's it. Let's see what FPL Focal thinks. Because if Edouard's starting, you assume that's going to be up front. Maybe, but he could play off the left. And maybe Zaha's central. Maybe Zaha's missing out. I don't know. Let's try and find out. But I mean, for anyone that's got Mateta, that would definitely make me rethink him. Okay, so whoever was asking me about Mateta just a minute ago, according to FPL Focal, he does not start. Now he said himself, take that with a pinch of salt, but he's been good for Palace News before. It's a bit weird that Guaita's not starting, though. I mean, I'm not going to be held responsible for that information. I'm just telling you. I mean, when people say, how does he know? Or like, you know, I've seen someone reply saying, cite your sources. I mean, you're not going to tell them where it's come from, right? But he has had... It's like me sometimes knowing... It's like me sometimes knowing Liverpool information, right? You know from someone. You're not going to go and say who that person is. Mateta prime for the double. I mean, you can frame it how you want. Rested for the double or in risk of not starting one of the games in the double, you know? There's a Palace forum. That's where Focal gets his info from. Oh, okay. Okay, so he doesn't actually know. He's taking it from somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, I did see someone, or there was a tweet about the fact that Zaha might play more central. So I wonder if Edouard's on the left. Oh, God, I've just seen FPL Villain. I brought in Guaita for a hit. Oh, my God. I won't read the rest of the tweet. It's a family-friendly stream. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, I'd love to know why Guaita isn't starting, because he was a potential for the free hit next week. I mean, I'd happily not have him, but there you go. Pick one of Mahrez, Jota, Foden, Diaz for this week. This week only. I mean, Mahrez is probably the differential, right? I'm just gonna stick with Foden. I think Foden might get 2 starts. I could be wrong. You know how much I love Foden. Maybe I'm slightly biased. I think Mahrez, if you want to go a bit punty, like a lot of people think Mahrez will start because he came off early, but I mean, Jesus could also play on the right. It doesn't have to be Mahrez. So I mean, even Sterling could play on the right. So Mahrez, I'm going to say Mahrez if you want to go a bit punty, otherwise Foden. But I mean, there's every chance that Mahrez plays more than Foden, because what the hell do I know? What the hell do I know? Nothing. On a bench boost, play White or move to another 4.5 for -4. So Arteta said, let me find the quote a minute. I think he said something like he could play. Yeah, in contention, but he needs to train. So the problem is, we don't know if he's trained. And if he hasn't trained, he's probably not going to play. So he is a bit of a risk. Would I move him for a -4 on a bench boost? I mean, you could go for Tavares, who would be like the kind of attacking play, and just stick with Arsenal defence. I mean, there's not too many other 4.5 million defenders this week that are like really great. I would possibly do White to Tavares, to be honest. The thing is, I mean, you don't need me to tell you, right? But if Ben White starts, you might regret that move. But because there's a chance he doesn't, I'd probably do that. Is there a 4 million defender that plays twice? I don't think so. I mean, Amati will probably only play once. Tsimikas may get 1 game max. Brandon Williams, possibly. I don't think he's injured or anything, is he? But then, do you really want to put Brandon Williams in your side? I don't know if he's even going to start. Hang on. Yeah, I don't even know if Williams is guaranteed to start, to be honest with you. So not really. Bear in mind that's your bus team for Game Week 38. Yeah, absolutely. I think in Game Week 38 I'll have to play Kulusevski, to be honest with you. I'll have to play Kulusevski, but I'm telling you right now, I'm also going to want to play Rafinha against Brentford. So I'm going to have to bench one of my defenders. Unless it's an injury, I'm going to have to bench one of my defenders in Game Week 38. And how the hell do I choose from that defence? Maybe I'll have to bench Rafinha. I don't know. I cannot bench Kulusevski against Norwich. But Rafinha's got Brentford. See, if I had Laporte as one of my defenders instead of one of the Liverpool Chelsea players, I probably would just bench him. But I don't. And these are probably the 5 most attacking defenders in the game. It's difficult. It's difficult. Bench one: Coutinho, Cash, or Kulusevski. Probably Cash out of those. Which transfer would you make if you didn't have free hit? I probably would have got Richarlison in instead of Nketiah, to be honest with you. And maybe Schmeichel instead of... I would have gone for... See, I could have gone for Richarlison and Schmeichel instead of Nketiah and Ederson. If I didn't have free hit, I probably would have. You know you want Son and Kane in 38. Impossible. Can't have them both. It's absolutely impossible. Without massive hits, which aren't going to happen. Actually, that was my thinking earlier. Is I'll do Robertson out. Selling Robertson before Wolves could be disaster. Foden to Son. And then bench whichever defender I bring in and just play Kulusevski and Rafinha and just play 4-5-1. Obviously, if we get early team news and like James or Alonso's bench, then that makes it a bit easier. But that was my thinking. I would like one Spurs attacker, but unless I sell Salah, I ain't getting both. No chance. Cash to Alonso, free hit 37, so have an eye on 38 fixtures. I mean, Cash to Alonso, I feel like there's probably better moves you can make. I don't completely hate bringing Alonso in, because I think this week, like if he plays twice, he looks really good, but the chances of him playing twice seem quite low. So I don't know if I would take Cash out for a hit. I guess if you're going to do it anyway in 38, you could justify it that way, but if it's for free, maybe. I don't know if I'd do it for a hit. Free hit 38 is out of the question, yeah. It definitely is now. Like, because next week I'll only have Weghorst Dublin. That's literally my only double game week player next week is Weghorst, right? I've got no Leicester. I've got no Everton. I've got no Villa. Who else is Dublin next week? I can't remember. I think that's the main 3 teams. No Crystal Palace. Free hit 38 is out of the question. I'm not going to save that just to get Kane and Son. I can only captain one of them anyway. Free hit 37 is now, unless all those Villa, like unless Zaha, Coutinho, Watkins, Richarlison all get injured this week, I will be free hitting in 37. Watch along for Game Week 38. Yes, I already have one guest booked in as well. I'm thinking about getting a third guest as well. Okay, keep Tony and bank the transfer or swap 6.9 to use. I mean, the thing is, it depends how much you value that one extra transfer, because Tony's fixtures from now to the end of the season are pretty good. So I feel like I'd possibly bank the transfer. Because you could get Nketiah, you could get Pookie, but I feel like Tony is a better option than both. If you can't just ignore the double, but if they only had single game weeks, you'd absolutely keep Tony. So I think I would possibly bank the transfer and just hope that those 4 points are better than bringing in one of those forwards. David, thank you. How confident are you on Foden starting both? I mean, if we say that less than 50% is okay, if we say 0% is like I think he doesn't start either, and 100% is I think he definitely starts both, I would say I'm just past 50%, but not by far. Maybe like 61%, something like that, if I had to pluck random numbers out of the air. I think everyone that's predicting Foden to be benched, fine, absolutely fair enough, right? He's just played 120 minutes. But if anyone's going to play 120 minutes and then start, it is Foden, I think. If all those players got injured, there's more incentive to free hit 37. How would there be more incentive? I don't own any of them. So there'd be less key double game week players to pick from. So surely it'd be less likely. I mean, if Richarlison gets injured, there's not suddenly like Calvert-Lewin, maybe. If Watkins gets injured, I guess Ings possibly. Coutinho gets injured, Buendia possibly, but I don't know. I think it would make me less likely to do it, to be honest with you. I'd just get a captain in and then just hope for the best. I think it would also depend on how much I think like Chelsea players might get rotated, for example. If it's to go for a Leicester forward, who would it be? I mean, probably Jamie Vardy, but realistically, his minutes are going to be managed, I think. But he will get Norwich, I think, instead of Everton, which is a bit of a plus. Klein to Alonso or Ramsey to Gordon, both cost -4. I mean, Klein. Nathaniel Klein. Are you the only person that I mean, to be fair, Klein does have a double next week. So it depends, really. I feel like Nathaniel Klein to Alonso and Ramsey to Gordon from -4 is pretty good moves. Gordon, the thing with Ramsey is he's not been completely ruled out, but he is a doubt. He is a doubt. I feel like I'd probably do that. And also, let us know how you own Nathaniel Klein. I honestly think you might be the only person that owns him. Let me see. So, mate, that's cool. Let's see. Transfers in round. Let me see how many people transferred in Nathaniel Klein this week. There's always someone that does it. He's been transferred in by 1,895 people. Wasn't it him and Bertrand that were legends? Was it Klein at Southampton? Or am I thinking of a different right back? Was it not Klein and Bertrand that were both like 4.5 at one point and really good options? Jack is a Klein owner as well. Do you know what? I'm going to check it now. I bet he's been racking up points and I've not even noticed. 6.66. He's had three 6+ point scores in the last 5 game weeks. What the hell do I know? Really? 6 against Arsenal. 7 against Leeds, 6 against Southampton because he got the assist. I mean, he's got a double next week. You could keep, like, if you're not free hitting 37, you could keep Klein and not get Alonso, as crazy as that sounds. Ramsey to Gordon, I think, sounds good. I think if you think that Alonso's going to start twice this week, I think you do it. There we go, Nathaniel Klein, legend. I might get him next week. Good free hit team, and who do I captain? I mean, captain's really up to you. I've done a whole captain video if you want to check that out. I think like it's very obvious who my favourite captain is this week. It's the guy on screen. Is it a good free hit team though? Schmeichel, yeah. Laporte, Alonso, Matip, Foden, Saka, Son, Salah, De Bruyne, and Nketiah. Yeah, if you want to captain De Bruyne, go for it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know if I would have Matip over. Excuse me. You got no Cancelo. I would try and fit Cancelo in, possibly. I think he looks great this week. Would you switch Sterling to Mahrez Foden for a -4? I mean, when it comes to, I mean, it's because it's for a Man City attacker. You could possibly justify a -4. But Sterling could also just start today or start the next fixture. And then Mahrez and Foden could also not start one. I think if I had a good use for the money, I'd possibly do it. Like if it was funding another really good move, I'd think about it. But otherwise, I'd be tempted just to give him another go. Is there a scenario where Sterling doesn't start either game? I guess there is. Well, I feel like you'd really want to switch the money around. Everyone talks about Richarlison, but Gordon's a bargain on all set pieces. Yeah, but I mean, Richarlison's on penalties. So straight away, that's usually bigger than set pieces. And also, Gordon takes up a midfield spot and Richarlison doesn't. That's another reason why people like him. And he's got more goal threat. Would Schmeichel, Laporte and Nketiah -8 or Ederson and Nketiah -4? I mean, it really depends who you're taking. Like, in the -8 scenario, you've got Laporte, but then you're having to bench someone else. It depends who you're benching, really. Ederson and Nketiah -4. I mean, of course, I like that. I've done that myself. Captain Laporte, De Bruyne, Son or Havertz? De Bruyne probably for me, I think, out of those. When you're not there. Jota, Luis Diaz or Foden as a punt this week? Foden for me. Foden and Mateta. I mean, the thing is, yeah, I'm going to say Foden. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. The thing is, if you think Foden's played 120, so therefore he's going to get benched, one of Jota or Diaz could play twice. But again, which one? I don't know. They probably both come off the bench either way. I wish I could give more clear answers, but trying to guess freaking minutes this week is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Foden and Mateta out. Gordon and Richarlison in. I don't really like taking Foden out for a hit, but if you've got no, or for free even, if you've got no free hit in 37, then Gordon and Richarlison are pretty good options. And if Fokal's got the correct information from the Palace forum, then it looks like Mateta's not starting. Kane to Richarlison and Kulusevski to De Bruyne. Or Weghorst to Jesus and Kulusevski to Gordon. I mean, Jesus is the same as all the others. 2 starts, who knows? I mean, he has pretty much played himself into the first 11, I guess, but who knows? I mean, what is it? Foden, Jesus, Mahrez, probably the best front three right now. Kane to... I mean, I probably prefer the Kane to Richarlison and Kulusevski to De Bruyne, but in all reality, I'm not sure I would do either of those 2 sets of transfers. I dare you, whatever punt that's hiding in your mind. Say what? How necessary is it to have 11 double game week players? I mean, I guess it's not completely necessary if you have to take big hits to do it, but I mean, I really want to like it should be so easy to get to 11 double games without like huge hits this week. Like, because so many big teams are doubling. Robertson to Laporte, Mount to Son, Wood to Gelhardt, -8. I mean, Gelhardt's not going to start, I don't think. So, I mean, maybe. I don't really like it, to be honest. I mean, you get Son in, which is a good move. Yeah. I mean, go for it if you want. I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, Robertson and Mount out as part of a -8. I mean, again, both might only play once. I mean, Laporte and Son are good moves, so sure. Without being able to give it any more thought, sure. Sleeping on Gabriel Jesus? Yeah, probably. Luis Diaz and Richarlison or Jesus and Kulusevski for -4. Probably. I mean, you could just do Richarlison and Kulusevski and not spend all the money. But probably Diaz and Richarlison is what I would do. I think Diaz probably gets 100 to 120 minutes this week, even if he doesn't start twice. Overrank 148k. Is it worth Foden captain over Salah Kane for a push to get into the 100k? I'll play it safe with Salah captain and wait for free hit 37. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the points difference is from 148k to 100k, but I think you can, honestly, there's someone on Twitter I saw like a week or two ago saying that they had to go different and they were at a certain rank. And then I saw them tweet they need to go differential captain because they're now even further behind. And you can fall into that trap. Like I said on the captain video, I'm not sure this is the week to go against Salah, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there'd just been a week's rest and no 100... I know De Bruyne didn't play 120 minutes, but Man City did. A lot of their players did. And, they'd all had a week's rest off. Then maybe, you could start looking at other players. But I just think... I mean, Salah hasn't had a week off either, I guess. I don't know. I don't like not captaining Salah. I mean, he's pretty much the best captain every week, right? So that's not news to us. But I think this week, going against him is quite a big play, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do. If you want to do it, go for it. But I don't know if Foden is the one, to be honest with you. How's it going, Loz? Mount or De Bruyne for the armband? De Bruyne, I think. Mount plays more. But in this double, I think I'd put more money on De Bruyne's minutes. So I'd probably say De Bruyne, to be honest with you. Ramsey to Foden -4 and play Havertz, or Havertz to Foden and Shah to Cancelo -8 and play 5 at the back. I mean, Cancelo and Foden in's pretty good. I mean, again, Havertz and Foden's minutes might be pretty similar, but getting Cancelo looks pretty good to me. Your captain picks are always super safe. I know, but like, what do you want me to say? Captain this player who I don't think is going to score many points. Like, unfortunately, Salah kind of ruins the game a bit, doesn't he? Because he's just that good. And for what it's worth, I did say last week, going against Salah, Kane or Son could be good. And I also said in 37 we can go against Salah. It's double game week. I think in game week 38 you could possibly go against Salah as well. But obviously a lot of people are just going to go for Son and Kane that week. Tim, thank you. Is Gundogan a good pick this week? I don't think so, to be honest. Again, could start. Probably not going to start twice. No guarantee starts either. I do think there's probably a good chance he starts against Newcastle, so he's okay. But I think there's better Man City picks, to be honest with you. It's not just this week. Martinelli or Kulusevski to bench. I mean, I think Kulusevski starts both, and I don't know if I'm so sure about Martinelli, but Martinelli gets Leeds. Kulusevski's got to play Liverpool first game. Oh, that's so tough. It's honestly, I'm not even sure I want to give that an answer, because I'll definitely get the wrong answer. Like, the thing is, Smith Rowe could start either game. Like, Smith Rowe could play against Leeds. I think it'll be Martinelli, but it could be Smith Rowe. Got to go Martinelli. He scored twice against Leeds last time and he will start. But will he start the next game? Whereas Kulusevski, I think Kulusevski starts both. I'd probably play Martinelli, I think, and just hope he plays twice. When you drink through that bottle, it sparkles. That's because of the green screen, I'd say. I can't. And the lights. Yeah, it's the green screen. Every question this week should be followed by Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. I wonder if I get copyrighted for that. Chaz, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying the break. Imagine that benching Kulusevski over Rafinha means you finish 10,000 instead of 9,990. I'd be happy with that. Thanks for the super chat, Seamus. Honestly, if I could pick a rank, right? Obviously number one, but I'm not getting number one. Right? I'm miles behind. If I could pick a rank to finish out right now, I would pick 10,000th. I would pick 10,000th. That'd be my dream rank right now. Not 9,999th. I want 10,000th. Look, people. Oh, wait, just stop. Like, here's the thing, right? I am competition for you, okay? Right? Unless you're ahead of me, then I'm probably not much competition. But if you're behind me, I'm competition for you. So if you think Rafinha is that bad and I'm playing him, you should be happy. I don't need to go punty to get from 15k to 10k, to be honest with you. Like, just don't need to. I'm 17 points behind. It's not that big. I mean, there's bench boost. Like, there's people going to be bench boosting. I'm free hitting next week. There's big point swings to come. I was looking at the top 10 earlier. There's a few teams in there where I think their teams have just crumbled at the wrong time, and I worry for them this week. And like, some of them have got bench boost, some of them have got free hit left. There's going to be some big swings now. My goal now is to beat you. I'm on 2,309. What am I on? 2,000. Okay, so you're 40 points behind. Honestly, if you've set, I'm sure you have as well. Some of the bench boosts this week look really good. Really good. Kane, Veghorst, Greenwood, Leeds out for 3 of Richarlison, Nketiah, Jesus, Werner. Are you swapping 3? Can you... Okay. Richarlison, Nketiah and Jesus, I think. Tim, Mara's captain on free hit. I'm chasing upside 120 plus minutes. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. I mean, if you want an upside play, then Mara's captain is probably about as upside as you're going to get without just going like proper stupid, you know? So I guess yes. And then hope for the best. I find it very surprising if Mahrez doesn't start one of the games. By the way, it's not completely like I think the difference between Man City and Liverpool is with Liverpool, if Jota doesn't start, you know he's coming on. If Diaz doesn't start, you know he's coming on. With Pep, it's not necessarily the same. If Mahrez doesn't start, he might just not come on and just get one start and then maybe play 90. So 120 minutes is possibly even pushing it. He could start twice though. I really wish I could sit here and give definites for people, but I just can't. It's so difficult. But Mahrez is definitely an upside chasing play for sure. Yeah. On free hit, De Bruyne, Jota, Cancelo, or Mahrez, Salah, Diaz. I'd really want Salah, to be honest. So I'm just going to say that side. If you want to push against Salah, the De Bruyne option's okay, but I think I'd probably go the Salah route and also try and get Cancelo Cancelo in if you can. Oh, the throat's starting to get a bit tickly. We've still got 45 minutes left. Hearing bench boost is really good this week is really not good news for me. The second guy in my league will bench boost this week. I don't have any chips left. Yeah, like obviously, for people that wildcarded recently, like for those that wildcarded in 34 or 35, their bench boost looked really good. For what it's worth, though, a lot of those people didn't have Son last week, so they've lost points last week to gain them this week. But I think anyone that's got I don't know, Pukki or Nketiah, or there's a lot of players that, especially Nketiah and maybe Gordon to a certain extent, that he's still fit and cheap. Like Foster, I think is okay as well. People have probably got Schmeichel as a backup keeper in some scenarios. There are just some pretty good bench boosts around. And look, you need everything to go right. But I mean, I got on my bench boost, I got 28, I think, from mostly. I think it was all single game week players. So I'm kind of okay with that. Could free hitters could bench boosters this week beat that? Absolutely, they could, but it'd still be tough even with 2 games. Transfer out Sterling to either De Bruyne or Son. Which, yeah, see, I think De Bruyne is better this week, but if it's from now to the end of the season, I'm saying Son. Oh, that's not good. We're coughing 45 minutes out. These usually get worse before they get better. Is it even viable to free hit next game week? Why wouldn't it be viable? I mean, I guess the answer is yes. It definitely is. Wouldn't have us out for Richarlison and Foden or Pukki and Mahrez. I think Richarlison and Foden. Triple captain Son, Saka, Trent or Mount. I'm going to say Saka. The only thing with Saka versus Son, it's not that Saka can't get anything against Spurs, but I think you're hoping for most of your points in that first game. So if he blanks, you might be in trouble. I'm gonna say Saka. I mean, you could go Trent as well. I'd probably go Saka, I think. Do you think playing fantasy football gives you better insight towards English football and can make better predictions? Possibly. I think it depends how you come to those predictions, though, right? I think, it gives you... It definitely opens me up to knowing about more players, I would say, playing this. But then they're not necessarily the players you need to worry about, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, who is the best 4 million defender? I mean, most people don't need to know who that is outside of FPL, right? Do I smoke? Hell no. Hell no. So, for the free hit 37 next week, right? Let me see. I just think it's worth more to my team. That's all. I think this week, like I said before, this week will definitely be a higher total point score. I might regret not doing it this week, but I think I just prefer the difference between my team from 37 to free hit 37 than I do for. I think on paper my team looks really good this week, I would say. The issue is just going to be around minutes. If all these players play twice, then I definitely don't want a free hit. I think Son is the one I'm probably most worried about. Maybe De Bruyne to a lesser extent. Maybe that people have got Maddison and I've got Rafinha. I don't know. I actually do have, by the way, I do have $1 million in the bank still. So I could potentially make another move. I could do like Kulusevski or Rafinha to Maddison, but if I thought he was going to start twice, then I would. I think I would make that move, but I'm just not confident enough. So I'm probably just going to stick to how we are. Should I swap Coutinho and Watkins out for Maddison and Richarlison? I have no free hit for 37. I'd probably just leave them, to be honest. They're both pretty good for next week. And also, Maddison might not even start twice. He probably, like a bit like Vardy, I guess he gets the Norwich game. The thing, I know this is going to sound stupid, right? But if I was going to gamble, I'd want to gamble on a player that is almost like a cert. Like, at least a cert to start twice, right? With Guaita out, is it worthwhile targeting an opposition attacker? Honestly, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on one player being out. Like, Guaita is not their whole team. Do you know what I mean? And also, you'd have to get like a Watford attacker. So it's just not worth it. Bench order between Ramsey and Broja. I mean, will Broja even start? I think he probably will because he missed the last game, but it's not guaranteed at all. Like, at all. One interesting point, I don't know where I saw it now. I don't know if I read it in an article. It might have actually been on the team news on Fantasy Football Scout. That there's, I think it was about, yeah, I've got it here. So Neil made a pretty good point. I'm assuming it was Neil that wrote this up. This is about Norwich. If planning for 2022-23 is now one of the key objectives, it could be that loanees like Gilmore and Brandon Williams are phased out, right? So maybe the same will happen with Southampton now. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to get relegated. Broja's probably not going to be at the club next year. Do they need to keep giving him minutes, or do they go with the players that they're going to have? I don't know. Like he's just missed so many minutes. Basically, that is a long answer to just basically say I'd probably just play Ramsey over Broja and hope that he plays twice. I think. Havertz and Robertson out for either De Bruyne and Alonso or Cancelo and Foden. No hit. Currently no City defence. I'd probably go Cancelo and Foden, I think, either way. I thought that was an interesting point. It might mean nothing. Southampton might think we're not 100% safe. I'm just going to play Broja. But it was an interesting point, right? I mean, maybe if there's an option to buy, it's a bit different. But I don't think Chelsea... Well, I mean, Chelsea can't sell any players right now, can they? But I don't think they will sell into Southampton necessarily. I mean, let's see what happens with the freaking club first. Mount for Foden or Mahrez or cash to James Diaz for a hit. I think cash... I mean, the thing is, if you need cash next week, I would just keep him. So Mount out for a hit to Foden or Mahrez. Honestly, I'd be tempted just to keep Mount. I mean, if Mount starts once and so does Foden and Mahrez, then Mount's got Leicester at home and Watford at home to finish the season. He could start both. So I'll be tempted just to not take a hit for either. If you're free hit 37, then cash to Diaz is probably an okay move. Laporte into bench Kulusevski, nah. Or Havertz to Mahrez -4. Probably Havertz to Mahrez if you have to make a move. White to Tavares or Fofana. I think I'd go Tavares, to be honest with you. I just think he's got a better chance of starting twice, and he's fairly attacking. Yeah, Ramsey is a doubt, but we're talking about Ramsey versus Broja, not like, do you know what I mean? Not like Ramsey versus Son or something. I think like you would just take the risk in that case. That's all. But you're right, yeah. Ramsey is a doubt. I mean, there's a possibility he doesn't start either game. Who knows? But after Luca Dean gate last week, I don't know if I trust Villa. Should I free hit or triple captain? I have 8 good double game week fixtures. I mean, that's impossible to say without seeing your team. If you've only got 8, I mean, it depends who they are, obviously. But I mean, how many double game weeks do you have for next week? If you've already got a few of like Richarlison, Coutinho, Watkins, Maddison, etc. for next week, and you don't think you're going to need to free hit, you could triple captain instead and free hit this week. But it's difficult without seeing the team. With only 8 double game weeks, I'd be tempted to use it this week, I think. But again, you've got 37 minutes to put together a free hit. Who to start, Gordon or Nketiah? That's a good question. I mean, the thing with Gordon is, I do think Gordon's pretty nailed. I think Gray is the one at risk if anyone's at risk. But at the same time, I'm going to say Gordon. I don't know, like, I've still, even though I bought Nketiah, I've still got a slight doubt about him starting twice. But he's got Leeds. Gordon's a midfielder. He's got Watford. I'm gonna say Gordon over Nketiah, but I'm not sure how confident I am about it. On a free hit, who do I captain? Salah, Son, or De Bruyne? I mean, free hit makes no difference, right? You know, who would you captain if you weren't free hitting out of those 3? I mean, it's always going to be Salah for me. Dennis or Nketiah only for this game week. I mean, Dennis has Palace without Guaita, right? I'm going to say Nketiah. Corey, how's it going? 18 months a member, very nice. Foden, Mahrez, or Kulusevski for bench boost and rest of the season. Foden. I mean, Kulusevski for game week 37 and 38 could be decent. He could be good this week, but I've always got to back my boy, Foden. Stick to your guns, you know. Ings or Watkins for the remainder of the season. I think the thing you get with Watkins is pretty much guaranteed starts. I'm going to check right now. I don't know if he's been benched that much this season. Like, he doesn't usually get benched. Yeah, so he got benched against Watford in game week 26. He was ill. Was he not ill or something, though? I don't know. Oh, no, it was Brentford he was ill. He missed that game completely. So he's been benched like only a handful of times this season. The thing is, Ings might start. And if he continues to play well, he might keep his place. So he is a differential. But I think if I was picking, I probably would just go Watkins because you know he's going to play. I have 14 double game weeks on bench boost. Want Mateta to Richarlison. I have 1.4, so I need 0.8. Who to downgrade? Yeah. I mean, there's so much to like try and ask after that question. But my gut feeling is, if I'm looking at it quick, is probably Mount or Maddison is who I would downgrade. Maybe to a second Arsenal attacker. Possibly to Gordon and just free up a lot of money. They're probably the two. With that, I can only give it so much thought on a deadline stream. That is my gut instinct. If I had 14 double game weeks, I wanted to do Mateta to Richarlison, and I need to free up money, probably Mount or Maddison. Ben White to Laporte or Alonso, anyone under 6. I think Laporte is much safer for 2 starts this week. I mean, rest of the season, there's nothing to say that Alonso won't outscore him. The thing is, if Alonso does end up starting twice this week, I definitely go Alonso over Laporte. It's one of those. I think for this week, I say Laporte, but the rest of the season, probably Alonso. Matip, Konate, or Thiago Silva. I'm going to say Matip, and hope that Konate starts the FA Cup final. Tough one. Rafinha nailed fighting pens versus shaky rotated defence. Possibly rotated defence against Chelsea. I don't know if there's going to be as much rotation as we think. Maddison in it's better attack fixtures. Buy one. Free hit 37. Identical fixtures in 38. You want to buy one? I don't like buying Rafinha. Doesn't seem like a great idea. The thing is with Maddison, again, I mean, how many times am I going to say this stream? If Maddison starts twice, he's the better option. I think that's clear. Everton at home, Norwich at home, definitely better than Rafinha. But if he only starts once, it's much closer. But to buy one, Like, I love Rafinha. I don't know if I can sit here and say buy Rafinha, though. But then if we're just looking at 36 and 38, I mean, it's close. I mean, I think everyone would buy Maddison. I'll say Maddison, but I got to be honest. Even without my love for Rafinha, I do think it's much closer than a lot of people will give it credit for. Robertson to Matip, Havertz to Son for a -4. Yeah, I don't mind that move because you get Son. Again, all those usual caveats. If Robertson starts twice and Matip only starts once, it could be disaster. But I don't hate it to get Son. And I think Havertz is definitely one of those players that only plays once this week. Kulusevski to Maddison -4. I wouldn't do that, no. Martin, thank you very much. Ifiani 83 on bench boost. Broja to Nketiah, Dubravka to Foster, White to Tavares for a -8. Sice out for another defender for a -12. The thing is, I think like with hits for the bench boost, ideally you also want that player to be usable in other game weeks. So like Broja to Nketiah is a good move. I think Dubravka to Foster is okay. White to Tavares. If White misses a game, then White to Tavares is probably okay as well. But most of those players you're probably not going to play the rest of this season. So they've got to repay that hit this week. So a -12 to get a bench boost is probably going to be 16 to 20 points max. Well, I guess maybe not on a double. I mean, Broja might not start. Dubravka's got Man City. White might not start one of the games, possibly both, I guess. And Sice has got one of the worst doubles you can get. I would be tempted just to take the -12 in that scenario, to be honest with you. It really depends who you're getting in for Sice, though. You probably haven't got a huge amount of money to spend. Half an hour to go. I would maybe like already chill on the super chats. I don't think I'm going to get through the ones we've already got, let alone more. I have 2 free transfers. My team is Schmeichel. Okay, look, if you've got 2 free transfers, like, ideally you want to suggest them to me. I don't want to be looking through teams and deciding what transfers people should make. I mean, I look at that team and you haven't got too much wrong with it, to be honest with you. Depends if you're free hitting at 37. I mean, most of those players I would not want to sell. So I think you're in a situation where you could probably just make one and roll. Mount, Davies, something like that. I think you're in a pretty good position, Linus, to be honest with you. One and roll could potentially be the way. Mars, on free hit, De Bruyne, Jota, Cancelo, or Mahrez, Salah. Yeah, I've done that one already. Play Amati or take a -4 for Nketiah and play him. I mean, Amati probably gets one start. It's probably the Everton game, though, which is the harder of the two. Obviously, they could get a clean sheet, but it is the more difficult one. A -4 to bench Amati. Would I do that for Nketiah? I think I probably would. It's a bit scary not having any Spurs tags for this game week. Yes, absolutely it is. Especially not Son or Kane. 11, or especially Son mostly. 11 million in the bank. Shah and Wood out. Who to get in? Or who are you thinking of? Dimitri, who are you thinking of? I mean, Richarlison and Nketiah, defenders, Cancelo, Laporte, Matip. Depends which kind of combination you want to go through. I'm not going to be able to sit here and work out the maths. Tavares and Richarlison possibly. Nketiah plus whoever you can afford for Shah. I can't work it out on my head. I mean, Nketiah's like from Wood is like 1 million, so Shah up to a 5. Matip maybe if that works. Otherwise, yeah, let me know who you're thinking about getting. I don't have Salah. Do I captain Son or Cancelo? I think I would captain Son. I don't think Cancelo's bad, but I just like captaining attackers. If you had both, would you play Nketiah or Pukki? I mean, I feel I would hope that I would play Nketiah because I think it's a bit more exciting, but Pukki is definitely the safer option. Chasing Kane and Marcelli to Nketiah, De Bruyne at -4. Yeah, maybe, but Kane and like the thing is, I think everyone sees. Okay, let me just check a sec. Let me just check what Kane's ownership is, or was last week. I mean, how many times has it been sold already? So look, Spurs transfers out. He's been transferred out by 175,000 people this week, which is mad, absolutely mad. And his ownership, I can't find his ownership. I can't be able to find his ownership. But either way, like if you're chasing, it's not like Kane is like 100% effective ownership. He's not massively owned. Not compared to like Salah and Son and Saka. So when you say you're chasing, Kane's good. Oh, the throat's going. The throat is going. I can't hack these one out. Whoa, what's happened? What happened there? Stupid camera. So I feel like Kane and Martinelli is probably just as good as Nketiah and De Bruyne. I don't think I would take a -4. If you really want to captain De Bruyne, then go for it. Is Bowen versus Norwich better than any doublers? Wait, I completely forgot that West Ham were playing Norwich. The thing is, they're off the back of a pretty bad defeat, and that was a pretty tiring game. So I would be tempted to get in a double game weeker, but who is going to play twice is your big question. So is it worth a -4 to do Bowen to a double game weeker? Possibly, depends who it is. Like Bowen to Saka is something that I would do. But you probably already own Saka, I guess. Was going Son for De Bruyne for a punt and Werner to Richarlison -4. Still doing the latter, but now thinking Coutinho to Mahrez, no free hit 37, 50k in chasing. I think you keep Coutinho if you've got no free hit 37. I mean, you know the deal around Mahrez. Could he do damage? Yeah, he could. Could he only start once and then may or may not start in 37? Also, could. The only, like, I know we've only got 3 weeks left, so this is the time where everyone says just throw it out the window. You've got to chase. You've got to do something massively different. But honestly, like, I mean, you could view it as this is the last big double game week to do something interesting, right? Because you've got big teams playing. So if you really want to go for it, Mahrez is probably the one. But also, there's so many points that, like, difference in swings that could happen this week. And then you've got more doubles next week. You could get to 38 and you could have risen in the ranks without doing anything crazy. So you'd really want to be sure about Mahrez, I think. Hello from New York. Hello from Ireland. I'm thinking about either bringing in Schmeichel and Gordon for Sarr and Bruno Guimaraes, or bringing in Matip and Gordon for Dyer and Bruno. Both from -4. I mean, I think Sarr and Bruno Guimaraes out is better than... I mean, Dyer's at least got a double game week. You could put him on the bench. I've used one of my free hits. The other one's next week. Bristol City 1-0 down. Nightmare. Bristol Rovers hopefully secure... I mean, Rovers can still get in automatic positions. I don't think it's likely, though. But the game's at 3... Oh, yeah, they're playing bottom of the league, aren't they? Scunthorpe. So they should secure their double game week... their promotion place. Please rate my team. My free hit. Alonso, Mo, De Bruyne. Mo, De Bruyne and Son. I like it. Son, Jota, Gordon, Jota punt. Okay, nice. Richarlison, either Saka or Richarlison. I think I play Saka over Richarlison. Both good, though. Yeah, it looks really good. There's like nothing really to complain about. Again, Alonso may only start once, but if you want to take a punt on him, definitely worse defenders than Alonso you could take a punt on. Yeah, they can still finish automatic. It's going to be tough, though. They need other results, obviously, to go for him. Fingers crossed. I'll be following it at 3. 24 minutes to go. I wouldn't put any more super chats in. I can't cut them off midstream, but I can only say to not do it. But I'm just not going to get through them all now, I don't think. Start Gordon or Coutinho. I'd probably start Gordon. I'm thinking of Son and Broja to De Bruyne and Nketiah for -4, but I'll probably still captain Salah. Is it worth the hit? I mean, yes, it could be, but I do think Son for the rest of the season is better than De Bruyne. Even if you're just counting 38, he's got Norwich. He's wanting to captain Cancelo over Salah mental. It's not mental. I think Salah is the best captain, right? I think that most weeks. Cancelo is probably one of the better other options, you know. I'm stuck between Weghorst to Richarlison, Cash to Alonso, Son to Salah, free hit 37. So I'd be bringing Son back in. I mean, Son's got a double, so Weghorst to Richarlison is probably the better option. But like, I think Salah's just such a good option this week for captain. So I'd probably do Son Salah, but I'd want to know how I'm getting Son back, preferably. Or you take if you're happy to take the risk without Salah captain, I do Weghorst to Richarlison. But I think honestly with free hit 37 as well, Son to Salah's probably the one. I was from near. Okay, so I'm not. I don't want to put. I'm not a Bristol Rovers fan. No, let's not go. I don't want to jump on the band. Like, I am jumping on the bandwagon, but I don't want to like make it out like I'm this massive Rovers fan. No, but I was born in Bristol and I always lived near there, like for ages and ages and ages, like for 25 years. So like they were always my preferred team over City, because most of my family support Bristol City, apart from my granddad who supported Rovers. So I always kind of sided with him against everyone else. So like I kind of follow it off and on, but like I'm not sat in there. I'm not sat there watching all the results every single week like some of my mates. But a lot of my mates support Rovers, so I want them to do it for them as well, which is why I'll be tracking it. Like, I've never had a Bristol City shirt. I've had a Bristol Rovers shirt before. So that is why, yeah. Do I know your cousin Matt? He's from Bristol. I never lived in Bristol, so probably not. Apart from when I was briefly at uni there. Anyway, we got 21 minutes before the biggest double game week of the season, or one of the biggest double games of the season, and I'm talking about where I grew up. Bristol Rovers or Sligo Rovers? Come on, Bristol. Oh, do you know? Oh, I know what the issue is now. I'm kicking. Hang on. I'm kicking the bloody cable with my foot. Yes, Yui. That's where I went. Yui for about 6 weeks, and then I quit. Anyway, like, seriously. Do cash to James Diaz or Mount to Foden Mahrez for a free transfer? I mean, if you need cash next week, I wouldn't transfer out, so I'd probably do Mount out. But if you're free hitting 37, I think cash to Diaz is pretty good. Look, if Kulusevski outscores Rafinha, I'll take all. Abuse is the wrong word. I hate the word banter, but abuse is the wrong word. I'll take all your messages about how bad I am. I'm ready for it. I like Rafinha. I'm playing Rafinha. Am I reading the standard chat as well? No. That was a joke, by the way. That was a joke. Because obviously it was in the other chat. I try and keep an eye on both. Pookie for a -4 hit for Mateta. Yes, I would do that. Matthew has a go. Mateta, Weghorst, Ward, Prowse to Nketiah, Richarlison, Odegaard -8. I mean, if you have to play them all, yeah. Dara Flynn, just want to say thanks for the brilliant content. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thanks to everyone that's watched as well this season, of course. We've still got 2 weeks to go. Have Ramsdale, Robertson, Trent, De Kulusevski and Adams to Maddison and Rodrigo -4. Rodrigo on the bench. Thoughts? I don't think I would have done Rodrigo in to bench him just so I could get Maddison to not play Kulusevski, if I'm honest. If you haven't already done that move, I wouldn't do it. But if you have done it, it's too late now anyway. Robertson to Matip, Havertz to Son for -4, be boring, and do Ramsdale to Edison for free. Oh, or be boring and do Ramsdale to Edison for free. I mean, Havertz to Son is a good move, I think, so I'll probably take the -4. Nick, how's it going? Bench boost, Trent. I worry about too much Chelsea, lack of City, no Son, Kane. What would you do? I mean, what would I do? It's hard to say exactly what I would do, but like I wouldn't. Like, no Son or Kane is bad, but if you're not going to have Son or Kane, this might be the best week out of 36, 37, or 38 to not have them. And Chelsea, look, yes, okay, they could be bad, but I think Havertz out for someone, but who? Hang on, I've got a freaking cough again. Jesus Christ, I can't. It's getting worse. I need to stop talking, which is not good when you're on a stream where you're the only person. I would probably do Havertz to someone, but without knowing how much money and stuff, you got nothing in the bank either. One free transfer. I mean, who do you even sell him for? Foden, maybe. Havertz to Foden, possibly. You could do Werner to Pookie and then see if that funds Havertz to Son. I don't know if the maths works out though. And if you don't need to play, If you could, yeah, because you got KDH. If you could do Werner to Pookie and Havertz to Son, that might work. Oh Christ, I can't stop coughing. It's just like a really tickly throat. Zinchenko is here. Good shout. I think a lot of it depends on how quickly Walker might be back. Like the thing with Zinchenko is he's not guaranteed to play there. Aki could play there if he's fit, so probably not really. I wouldn't bother spending a transfer on Zinchenko. There's way more interesting things you can do, in my opinion. I wonder if beer. Oh, by the way, very important update. Very important update. You know how like people have been talking about you know how people have been talking about beer showers. I had beer bath last night. That was good. I think showers just annoying, right? You get water in your beer. You have to turn the shower off. But in the bath, good. So I just thought I'd let you know about that important update. Bench one of... That's it, basically. Bench one of James Alonso Mount for Madison. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I'm going to say... The thing is, a lot of people think that Alonso is more likely to start twice than James. So I guess James. I guess you bench James. But do I like that? No. This really feels like an end of season stream. No, not at all. I mean, it is near the end of the season, but we've talked about beer showers a lot. Or shower beers. 5 games for Liverpool in 2 weeks from last weekend to FA Cup. Do you not think they'll rotate versus Spurs and Villa? There might be some rotation versus Villa, but I don't think it'll be a huge amount. 1 Mount to Saka. 2 Richarlison to Watkins to Richarlison. 3 Mount and Pete. Honestly, you've given me 5 different scenarios. Like, if I'm honest, there's no way I can give them enough thought to give you a proper answer. So let me try and do it quickly. Watkins... Oh, no free hit 37. So you don't really need to do Watkins to Richarlison. Mount and Pookie to Gray and Richarlison. I mean, if Calvert-Lewin ends up playing a game, I think Gray is the most at risk. So I wouldn't do that one either. Mount and Watkins to Saka and Richarlison. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Or then you're just doing Watkins to Richarlison again. Mount to Saka. Mount and Foden and Pookie to... No. I think you just do Mount to Saka and not take a hit. But, I mean, there's 5 different scenarios. Like, it's hard to give it... You know, all the thought it probably needs, but Mount to Saka probably. Havertz and Emerson Royale to Coutinho and Zinchenko. No, I'm not sure about that at all. Zinchenko is not a guaranteed start whatsoever. Robertson or Laporte for the -8. Nah, I wouldn't do that. On free hit, Foden and Diaz, Foden and Madison, or Mahrez and Madison. Foden and Diaz, I think. If you want to go, if you want to be a bit interesting with the picks. If you want to, yeah, probably Foden and Diaz. Your thoughts on triple captaincy, Saka, Salah? Salah, am I crazy triple captain Mount instead of Salah and Son? In my opinion, yes, actually, because I think Salah and Son are more likely to play twice than Mount. If any Chelsea attacker is going to play twice, I mean, it probably is Mount, but I think Salah and Son are both better. Worth a -8 to bring in Foden, Alonso and Matip for Son, Doherty and Livramento. I don't think I'd want to be losing Son. Is there no other way you can upgrade those 2 defenders? Do you have to play them this week as well? Possibly if it's for a bench boost, but overall I'm not convinced by that. Bringing in Saka instead of Ramsey, but I need some fun. So Robertson to Matip or James to Tavares. I'm going to say James to Tavares, but don't really like it. But I'm going to say James to Tavares. I just think everyone's ruling out Robertson playing twice, and I'm just not. I'm not so sure that James is more likely to play twice than Robertson. Is the long and short of it. But obviously James does have better fixtures. I'm going to say James Tavares though. Is it okay to get Jesus, Gordon, Luca Dean, Cash for Weghorst, Mount, White for -8? Of course it's okay, yeah. If you think he's going to play twice, go for it. Foden or Diaz on free hit. Is City attacker a must? Nope, not a must. If you want to go for Diaz, go for it. I'd probably go for Foden, but that's just me. Kane to De Bruyne. Again, I probably wouldn't do it unless I really wanted to get a different forward in for my midfield. Like, obviously, if you take out Kane, you've got to get a different forward in. And so is that forward better than the midfielder you're taking out for De Bruyne? If so, you could do it, but I don't know if I'd be in a rush to do that. Keep Mount or Havertz. I'd keep Mount over Havertz. Kane to Richarlison and Coutinho to Son or De Bruyne -4. Free hit 37. I mean, Richarlison and Son or Richarlison and De Bruyne probably is better than Kane or Coutinho. So would I do it for -4? Possibly, yeah. It probably doesn't involve captaincy though, so it kind of doesn't make it quite as good. It's not like I'm not ill or anything. It's just sometimes when I stream I get a tickly throat. It's just the constant talking. I get it sometimes when I record videos, but nowhere near as often. And obviously then I can just break and retake. Although that's really annoying, like when you cough when you're trying to do a recording. Diaz and Gordon in for Rafinha and Coutinho. I don't think I would do that. No. Especially if you're not free hitting in 37. I mean, you could just do Rafinha to Gordon for free next week. Diaz and Gordon is definitely more interesting, at least. If you're looking for punts, then go for it. But I don't think I would do it. Does it really matter who's on the bench if you're bench boosting? So I prefer to bench who I would realistically bench, just so I know how much the bench boost was worth. Like people that put like Salah and Son and stuff on it, it's not realistic. But it doesn't matter for the score, no, at all. It only matters if you're interested to see what your realistic bench scored. That's all. Better move Kane to Richarlison and De Bruyne or Jesus and Son. Kane to Richarlison and so Richarlison and De Bruyne versus Jesus and Son. Is that the? I mean, it's to be honest, it's probably Richarlison and Son, then Jesus and Son or Richarlison and De Bruyne. It's probably Richarlison and Son. What's your stream for 3 seasons now? On 2,429 points this game, we can top 1.4k overall. Very nice. Hoping to break top 1k with bench boost. Definitely could happen. And free hit. Very nice. So you got bench boost and free hit. Very nice. Top 1k, definitely on. I think you I wouldn't try and plan. I mean, you need to obviously plan for 37 to 38, but so much can happen this week which changes your thoughts for next week in 38. There's going to be some big scores this week. There's going to be some big green arrows. There's going to be some big red arrows. And unfortunately, I think I'm getting a big red arrow. If White is potentially out, play Bowen instead. I guess yes, because if he does miss the Leeds game, then he gets only Spurs. If you're, yeah, he's not definitely out though. That's the problem. You're not going to know. You're not going to know. So yeah, Bowen against Norwich could be a decent haul. I assume Bowen's going to play. Like it's not like West Ham have to go and play 120 minutes or anything. They might be tired, but they didn't play 120. Cancelo captain over Salah for a punt. If you want a punt, yeah, that is one way you could do it for sure. Oh my god, 10 minutes. I'm never going to get through all these questions. Like, there's so many questions everywhere. It's insane. It's actually insane this week. I'm just checking my team is how I want it. It is. Guy, I wouldn't put any more super chats in. Like I said, like 20 minutes ago. I'm not going to get to them all. There's just so many. I've not seen any early team news. No. What's the early fixture anyway? It's oh yeah, it's all the 3 o'clock games, of course. Oh, Chelsea. Yeah, you could get Chelsea news, I guess. I've not seen anything though. Borja to Nketiah and De Gea to Schmeichel for a -4. Yes. Should I consider another -4 for Weghorst to Richarlison? I would say yes. Adjusted free hit team now. How does it look? Captain De Bruyne, Schmeichel, Alonso, Trent, Matip, Laporte, Cancelo, nice. Son, Salah, De Bruyne, nice. Saka and Nketiah. Looks really good. If you want to captain De Bruyne, go for it. I would captain Salah, but that's me. Haroon, I'm thinking of doing -12 to get Laporte, Van Dijk, De Bruyne, and Son for Salah, Cancelo, Trent, and Coutinho. Hear me out. I'm going to hear you out, but I don't like it already. I think City and Liverpool keep clean sheets. I'd rather have cheaper defenders and Son and De Bruyne cancel out Salah. Honestly, a -12 to get rid of Salah, Cancelo and Trent, that is crazy talk, in my opinion. Of course it could work out, but that is absolutely crazy talk. So if you want to do it, go for it. But there is no way I would do that unless they were injured. That's madness. Worth a -8 to bring in Foden, Alonso, and Matip for Son, Doherty, and Livramento. I already answered that one. I think Foden, Alonso, and Matip do outscore those three players, but I prefer to get a different way to get upgraded Doherty and Livramento and just keep Son if you can. Rodrigo, Man City. Man City? Huh? Gordon, Everton. Oh, Rodri, is it? Or Gray to replace Ramsey. Gordon I'll go for. Or just fielding Cody's on my bench. I'd probably just get Gordon. Have a bit of fun with the attacker. Chris, thank you. Jing Yang. Kane and Coutinho to De Bruyne and Richarlison for -4. A lot of people asking about Kane to De Bruyne. Do it if you want to do it. But, yeah, De Bruyne and Richarlison probably is a better option this week. Chris, thank you again. Petter, bench 2. Play 2, bench 2. Watkins, Coutinho, Gordon, Pookie. That's tough. I'd probably play... I don't know, to be honest. The Liverpool game's probably putting me off a little bit. Can I really say Gordon and Pookie? That seems a bit crazy. Gordon and Pookie ahead of Coutinho and Watkins. I'm going to say it just because of the Liverpool game. I don't know, though. Mark's on a -12. Nice. Kane and Coutinho to Son and Jesus, or Kane, Mount, Coutinho to Son, De Bruyne and Mateta. I wouldn't be bringing in Mateta. Apparently he's not playing today. Kane and Coutinho to Son and Jesus. I mean, that's probably what I would do if you have to choose one of those. If you had to. Don't forget, by the way, before you shoot off when the deadline hits in a minute, make sure to give it a like. Keep hitting that subscribe button as well, because why not? We might get to 270k before the season's out. It's possible. Kane, Weghorst, Greenwood to Jesus, Richarlison and Nketiah. The thing is, when you've got Kane, Weghorst, Greenwood, surely you're not having to play Weghorst and Greenwood. If you are, then yes, I would make those moves. But obviously, there's no guarantee Jesus starts twice. Werner to Richarlison worth a -4. Maybe you could justify it if you're not free hitting next week, but I don't know if I would take a -4 to do that. Maybe if you need the money for another move. If you need the money, I would do it. I mean, there is obviously every chance Werner just starts once. And Richarlison will probably start twice, and he's on penalty. So I do think for this week and next week, Werner to Richarlison is probably a good move. Captain who out of Diaz or Laporte? Diaz or Laporte? I mean, their goal threat's similar, so I guess it depends if you think one's getting benched. I'm going to say Laporte. I'd captain Laporte. Hit free hit tonight or wait until game week 36 is done. I'll probably wait just because I don't think money is going to be an issue. And if something big happens which makes me rethink the free hit, then I might save it till game week 38. But you could just hit it tonight if you're sure you're going to do it. Alternative one of Havertz, 180 minutes Rafinha or 120 minutes Maddison. I'm gonna say 120 minutes of Maddison, maybe, just about. I think I do like Rafinha. Mina and Saka or Reece James and Martinelli, Odegaard have Alonso. I mean, Mina for the next 2 weeks could be good if he plays all 4 games. Saka's decent, so I'll say Saka and Mina, I think. Any thoughts on bench boost teams? Schmeichel, Foster, Alonso. Who's on the bench? That's the question. Richarlison, Dennis. I mean, your bench is probably what? Dennis, Gordon, Justin, maybe. I think he looks pretty good, to be honest. Jesmar. Do you think Luka Dean will start both games? Probably, yeah. If he's fit, I think he starts. Kulusevski or Maddison for this game week? Maddison, would you think you're a hit to get rid of Havertz? If so, who are the best options? Have 8.4. Foden. Saka, if you haven't got him, probably the 2 best options, I would say. Like for 8.4 million. I'm just going to check the list of players because I can't. Just trying to think if there's anyone else I've missed. I mean, Maddison, if you think he might get good minutes in both games, I probably would hit out Havertz, I think, in most scenarios, but it depends who you already own. Play Luka Dean or Kulusevski. Nazim, thank you. Jamie, thank you. Would you sell KDH to Odegaard Gray for a hit on bench boost? Maybe to Odegaard, as long as it doesn't screw up more of your future moves because of money that you're having to spend on that. Havertz and Kane to De Bruyne and Richarlison for a hit. Yeah, I think De Bruyne and Richarlison is better. Yes. The thing is, everyone's selling Kane. Like, Kane could smash it this game week. It could. Everyone thinks it's going to be Son. It could just be Kane. But I think Richarlison De Bruyne is a better option. You've only got 3 minutes now, so make sure you're locked in. I'm just going to double check. I'm going to take a few more. No, I'm not going to take any more hits. This is my team locked in. So just a reminder, I did Chris Wood to Nketiah, and I did Sarr to Edison for a -4. I'm captaining Salah. Saka is my vice captain, and I'm going to play Rafinha over at Kulusevski, and I'm prepared to take the hate when it goes wrong. I'm prepared. Hate's the wrong word. I need a different word. Watkins to Richarlison or keep Watkins and roll. Probably roll. He doesn't answer chat's questions. That's correct. Yeah, I don't even read them. I've saved this. Well, I don't need to press save because it's already saved. I haven't made any changes. Stick. Yeah, stick. Criticism, maybe. Yeah, criticism feels a bit, what's the word? Like a bit, I don't know. I don't. So you've just given me a word to use for a different word, and now I can't think of the word for what that word means. Christ, I'm sorry. How do I even stream? Why do people watch? I can't even talk. I was going to say it sounds a bit posh. Criticism, professional. No. What's the word? I think criticism sounds a bit, like serious. Mountain Holgate or Gordon and Robertson on bench boost. Mountain Holgate or Gordon and Robertson. Gordon and Robertson. Would you sub on what was that? I missed that question. Would you sub on Maguire if you didn't have a choice? If we didn't have a choice, maybe, yeah. Formal, yes, formal. Oh my god, I just give up. Am I sweating? No. Am I sweating? I might be sweating. I didn't really have to make that like so obvious 2 or 3 times, really. Formal is the word, yeah. Thoughts on Barnes now Leicester is out. The thing is, again, I think 1 start for Barnes. 1 start. We've only got 1 minute left, by the way. 1 minute left. I don't even know if I get through these questions if that even helps. Coutinho to Bernardo and Nketiah Saka. I love Saka. He's great. Are we actually locked? We are locked. That is it. Apologies for anyone whose question I did not get to, especially ASC Enterprise to answer my question. Yeah, I tried to get to them all, but like I said, it was getting tricky to answer as many. I was nearly at the end as well. Wildcard. Schmeichel, Cancelo, Laporte, Gabriel, Alonso, Salah, Captain, Son, Foden, Maddison, and Nketiah, Watkins. I mean, for what it's worth, it looks pretty good. I'm ready to take the heat. You Captain Mahrez. Wow, okay. Captain Mahrez. We're locked in now. It's too late to do anything now. We've only got 2 more weeks. I haven't streamed on Twitch for a while. Let's see the free hit team. I'm not going through the free hit right now. Right, I'm locked in. Thank you very much for watching this later than normal stream. Please do give it a like and hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. I will probably be back on Sunday because we're going to have a lot of games to have finished by then. In fact, we'll only have the double game week games after Sunday. So I'll definitely do a stream on Sunday. We'll start looking at free hit and stuff like that and answer any questions. Hopefully, there's been a few punts or whatever that have gone right. Foden not starting against Newcastle. Yeah, of course. That would be about right. But anyway, the game's tomorrow, so I'm not sure how many people could really know that just yet. Thogden in the chat. Thogden, are you beating me yet? I can't chat because it will just say it's locked. World Cup FPL, yeah, I'll be doing that. Don't worry about that. I'll be doing that. I'm 800 rank overall. You could have helped me for the captain. I was asking Cancelo or Salah. I mean, two things. You were asking, and so were about 8,000 other people. That's the first point. So, like, it's impossible to get to every question. And two, come on, you know what I would have said. You know what I would have said between Cancelo and Salah. Thogden, good luck. I'm sure you're currently off somewhere going to a different stadium as well. How many stadiums have you been to this week? About 50, I would say. Right, I am off. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, give it a like, hit subscribe. I will catch you again Sunday. See you then, and let's hope for some big points for my players. Goodbye.